Hello out there and welcome back. We're here finally finishing up the washout phase of my training. So the last 2 weeks haven't been posting a whole lot of training vlogs. Honestly, the stuff's just not that exciting to see. We could do some super sick edits of me doing ab rollers and, you know, military press and such things. But I just don't think it's going to be that entertaining. So what we've done instead is we've done a couple of extra videos on exercises. So if you're rushing through it, chances are we're not holding adequate bracing through the trunk. That should be the #1 focus. We did a video on the seminar that I put on the weekend. And now we're gonna wrap up sort of the whole training from my washout period. Essentially, the washout period is what you would think of as a traditional deload. I've talked about this a little bit before, about how the training runs is there's a developmental block, and then a washout block, and then another developmental block. So what I'm doing now is I'm transitioning into what will be my developmental block to lead me into nationals. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of heavy equipped stuff and heavy raw stuff to prepare myself as best I can to compete back-to-back days in both raw and equipment, which I'm quite excited about. So to go over sort of some of the cool stuff that happened in the last 2 weeks of training, I finally hit some raw squat singles and was able to do those relatively pain-free, definitely well within the threshold of where I'm comfortable training. So I think my first one was 584, whatever that is. I think it's about 265, 584. And then I hit another one this week, and that was 618, 280 kilos. So that was my opener at Worlds, which to me is a really, really good sign that my raw squat is getting back on track. I'm super, super excited about that. Very happy to be able to say that I actually feel like I'm probably gonna PR at some point soon. You know, I'll probably be back to 95, 98% strength for nationals, which is really exciting to me. I'd like to squat somewhere between, you know, 308, 315 kind of thing. Depending on where strength is, I would really like to up my national record. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the washout. Did some incline, some overhead press, lots of ab rollouts, that kind of crap. But next week's gonna be back into full equipment. I am getting back in my squat suit, my deadlift suit, so I'm very excited about that. So we're just gonna go ahead and get on to the question of the day today. Now the question of the day comes from C. Kelterborn. Now he's wondering about this phenomenon everybody's sort of partaking in that's been popularized over the last little while, I think in big part by my coach, Mike Tashir. But a lot of people are doing singles at an RPE of 8 in the competition movements prior to doing their volume for a given day. So he wants to know why a lot of powerlifters seem to work up to a heavy single before rep work. So I think the benefits of training like that are twofold. I think #1, it's a good strength stimulus and it's a good skill development tool. So I think it's heavy enough that you're gonna get a good training stimulus from it, and it's heavy enough that it's gonna very closely replicate what you're gonna be doing in competition, which is a single with heavy weight. So I think there's an aspect of skill development to it where you can do sets of 5 at 75%, 80%, whatever, all day long, but it's not going to be as transferable over to a single. Not to say that that's not a great way to build strength, but in some circumstances, I think athletes lack certain technical skills, even psychologically or mentally in some cases, to be able to push the heavier weights and have their strength translate from 5x5s to heavy singles. So skills and strength development. And the other one is it provides you sort of a litmus test to see how your training cycle is going and a measure of progress throughout the training cycle that is very relatable to an actual 1 rep max or what you might be capable of in that movement, because it's as specific as it gets. The other thing I think is very valuable for is once you have that max, you've then established sort of a training max for that day. So if you're gonna do further RPE based work, or if you're gonna do further percentage based work, I think it's very valuable to have that very accurate measure to dictate the day's training. Now working off of that, you obviously get a very clear picture of what you're capable of that day. So I think that therefore makes your following volume more accurate, and it allows you to predict more accurately how strong you're gonna be that day. So I think those are the two biggest benefits, strength and skills development, as well as sort of an accurate max for the day. Another really exciting thing that we're working on right now is we are getting a whole new line of merch in the store, new apparel that will be released in March. So our planned launch for the new stuff is gonna be March. We are going to be removing a lot of the stuff that's currently in the store to make room for it. So if you have stuff that's in there that you want, go ahead and pick that up now, because we're going to be transitioning over within the next couple months. We're really excited about some of the new designs, some of the new colorways. We're going to do some new hats, all kinds of cool stuff like that. So stay tuned. We'll definitely show you guys the samples when we get them in. But that is it for today. So thanks again for tuning in, guys. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good jazz, and we will see you very soon. Hopefully I'll be in my squat suit.